So you actually gave me something, the Palestine national team jersey, and Asian Cup badge here. I know, man. I think I never swap jerseys with players because I feel, what do I have to do with all these jerseys? But this one is really special, and to hear the story behind it and that you wrote history with it, make me proud to have it. So I keep this in my house. Hello guys, welcome to a new season of Mark Talks, where we'll be inviting 23 players in 23 episodes to talk about life on and off the pitch, to inspire, educate and motivate the audience. Enjoy. Hey guys, Mark Talks, another episode. Kita punya hari ini Mohamed Rashid, Timnas Palestina, Bali United. Sebelum partner saya di Persib Bandung, kita bicara soal hidup di luar dan karir dia. Let's go. My man.
Brother, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Thank you for joining.
Sure. It's my honor.
Let's have a chat. Bro, thank you so much for joining. What I said before to you, a little bit background information why I wanted you to be here. We played together in Persib. I see your inspiring journey afterwards to Bali, back to Palestina, national team of course. We became friends in a short period in Bando, and ever since we've been following each other. I think your story is unique, and today I wanted to talk about it, not just your football story, but also your life outside football. I think for many people this is something very inspiring. Maybe you look at it as normal because it's your everyday thing, but I think it's such an inspirational story. And yeah, that's a little bit the background. It's the reason Mark Talks I created Mark Talks because I wanted to show the other side of a football player, the human side. I think no one really knows Rashid. I think they know the football player. So my first question always is, who is Rashid?
It's Mohamed.
Who is Mohamed Rashid? Mohamed is your name.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, bro. And honestly, it's good to see you always. You were right. It was a short time at Persib, but it's kind of close to us, making some type of history there. But it didn't happen, alhamdulillah, but all for a reason. For me, it's just a little more that started to play in the streets. Like anybody that I had a dream as a kid. I'm sure you had the same thing. And to be honest, football wasn't in my head at the beginning. I was just having fun with friends and whatnot. And at one moment when I was maybe 13 or 14 years old, my physical education teacher in school, he's the one that actually invited me to one academy, one of the known youngster academy in Palestine, in my city of Ramallah. And slowly I started to grow up in that, and 3 years later I had a chance to play one game in the first team, but I ended up going to the United States for a better life, studying. And to be honest, it was just for studying because that's mainly what I was thinking.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about football that much because of what we saw in Palestine. We really didn't see a future in it there. I was just, playing for fun, just to enjoy it in a bigger pitch, not on the street with the friends, having 2 rocks as a goalpost or something. When seeing this for the first time, the goalpost, it was honestly different.
Yeah.
So shooting on the net and hearing the net as a little kid, it gives you that good feeling. So you start growing into that. And to be honest, like I said, it wasn't in my plans to play football, especially when I reached college. I was working a normal job, and at the time, my supervisor was telling me that, after I finished school, that they have a supervisor job for me. And I was actually excited about it because, as a kid that was, 18 years old or 20 at the time, I was happy about it because I was thinking, okay, I'm going to start making better money, I'm going to make a better life. And then out of nowhere, under 23 national team called me for the Asian Cup qualifiers.
Okay.
2017, I think. This is what changed my whole life. That moment is what changed my whole life and changed my whole career.
So growing up in Palestine, born there, raised there, how did you see life's future when growing up? You basically never said you wanted to be a football player, or you thought about it?
No, not at that. At that time, there wasn't, none of us kids at the time saw that there's a future in it. To be honest, the only thing that I used to look at is when I watched the national team for the first time play on home ground against Jordan. And I was thinking, I was young, honestly, I don't even remember how old I was, but I was thinking to myself, I want to be on the national team just for this atmosphere. It was a full house. It was the first time I experienced something like this with this many people. Normally, I used to see it on TV, you know? And it gives you a feeling.
What age was that?
It's a good question. I think it was like in 2008. So about 14 years ago, 16 years ago. So I was still a young boy and still maybe 14. So at the beginning when I started playing.
So there was a moment you realized, wow, this can actually be something for myself.
Exactly. I was thinking, okay, maybe one day I can play for national team, but I didn't think there's a future in football at the time there. You know, he's just playing. You know, you would see, I was pushing to actually try out in Europe. That was my biggest dream when I was a kid. I was trying so hard. I contacted so many people at the time, sending emails everywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a kid, everybody's gonna give, you know, sell you any words just to, you know, mess with you. And man, so many people are telling me, okay, we're gonna take you here. I've never seen anything. And this is what actually kind of gave me that thought, okay, there's no future and I'd rather finish my school or something, I study, and just go on with a normal life, you know, basically away from all this. But I don't know, it was kind of a big turn of events when 2017 happened.
But if I look back to myself, I was born in the Netherlands, I grow up, the first thing to children's mind is, I want to be a football player. And you know that the opportunity can be there if you're good enough, right? If we look about Indonesia, there's so many kids playing on the street, they all know, I want to be the next Timnas guy. How is it, because we've seen a lot of news, you know, but speaking to someone who was born there, was raised there, if you grow up there, you're born there, do you, what you said before, like, do kids actually think that I'm going to play football because I can have a future, or I just play football just to forget about everything else, what is happening?
To be honest, if I talk about it personally, how I used to play, I used to play just to get away from everything, just to have fun. You know, as a kid, you have no, you know, no stress, no frustration, you have nothing in your head. I think the only thing that I used to think about is, you know, turning in my homework or something the next day for school.
Yes.
But other than that, you know, you just play to enjoy it and just be free away from everything. And as a kid, you know, you just want to enjoy time with your friends. But to think about it as a future, I never thought about it as a future at the time because, to be honest, all odds are against you. And being Palestinian is even, I think, 20 times harder than for being an Indonesian, for example. You actually have a chance to go around. For us, we don't. If I want to go visit, for example, somewhere in Netherlands, for example, to make a trial, I can't. I need to wait so long to get a visa. It might come out, it might not. You might pay for it, nothing will happen. It's just that hard. But for example, you spoke about how when you grow up in Netherlands, I think in Netherlands they live football because of the league there. And it's a very good league. You know, you have Eindhoven, you have Ajax, you have all these great academies there that raise many good players in the world. I think for you to have that, you know, dream, I think it's more realistic than a Palestinian to have that dream because, to be honest, like I said, many odds are against it. Any odds are against it. You know, anything that happens, whether it is, you know, looking to go study or play football or be whoever you want to be, everyone will stand against you. Everyone will stand against you, and everything will be looked at. Everyone will look at you politically before they look at you as a human being, you know, trying to live a normal life. They'll look at you, okay, we're from Palestine, you guys do this, you do that, you're from, you know, they will try to do the best they can to stop, you know, what you are dreaming or what you're trying to achieve. But a lot of people get, you know, go over there and they're able to, you know, go to the next level.
Do you think that narrative changed now? I mean, we are in 2024. So much has happened, so much is still happening nowadays. Do you think the narrative changed towards Palestinian people, that people actually want to give them the opportunity now?
I think yes. After the Asian Cup, it's a bit had changed. You know, after the Asian Cup, more people started to know Palestine. More people started to see the Palestinian team as actually talented players, not just the political name of Palestine that everyone knows.
Yeah.
But still, the citizenship, the passport is still difficult for us to reach the potential that we're supposed to reach. And I always give this example to anyone that asks me this. Is Odeid Dabao, the player that plays in Belgium right now. He plays for Sporting Charleroi. Honestly, one of the greatest, actually, in my opinion, the top player that Palestine has ever gave birth to. Honestly, one of the best players I've ever seen in my life in the Palestinian team. And this kid still has a lot of problems, a lot of things against him for some reason, and nobody knows why. And the only thing that we can think about is because he plays for the Palestinian national team. You know, there's players or strikers before he was playing in Arouca in Portugal. They don't have his numbers, not even half his numbers that he had in Portugal. They ended up signing in Saudi and those big leagues and Middle East.
Yeah.
Big money, you know, big teams. They just kept moving on up. Or some players who have played in that same team and ended up going to bigger teams in Europe. Less numbers, of course. Their numbers were like, I think, half and whole, because we looked at it together, me and him. He did everything.
Yeah.
It was the first time they go to the European Conference League. It was, you know, he helped because he was the top scorer of his team. He had a lot of assists. And at the end of the day, nothing. Nothing.
Strange.
It's very weird. And the only thing he had was an offer from the second division team in Qatar. Can you imagine how frustrating that could be?
So you said that based on dreams as a kid, not being realistically thinking about football, at one moment you said you're gonna go into study, right?
Yeah.
So I know you had your bachelor.
Yeah.
How did that benefit your current status now, but also the way of thinking at that moment? Why did you choose to go and study, and what kind of benefits do you feel from it now?
So the reason I got serious about, okay, so before my sophomore year, which is my second year of college, I was really thinking about trying out in my Mexican league team.
Okay.
And I had a friend in Chicago when I was living in the United States. He was really close to a manager in a team called Pachuca, and this team is known for their academy. They give a lot of talent out to the world. And I was so excited about it, and subhanAllah, at one point, I had a college game and I had a really bad injury in my ankle, and that woke me up. This is what gave me okay, you know. It was basically sit on your seat, focus, think, maybe God is giving you another opportunity. And this is when I started thinking seriously about school, okay? And because before that, it was on and off, you know, sometimes going to class, sometimes not. But then after that injury, it woke me up. I was so serious about trying to graduate and have a good, grade point average, the GPA. And it started to give me thoughts, okay, maybe anything is possible. Like I can break my leg, I can have a serious injury that can, if I, just keep dreaming about football, it can break my heart and it can break the rest of my life. You just keep thinking about it, it can traumatize you. So I started being serious about school until 2017. It was my last semester. And I get a call up from under 23 national team. I was like, okay, so maybe there is a career in this. And I started to think about it, okay, maybe this is another opportunity that God has given me. Maybe God wanted me to wake up for school and just graduate, be sure that I have my degree and continue. So.
Good, let's have a walk. Show us facilities Bali has to offer us, the nice pictures. So give me a little insight in how do you think, we spoke about your background, the way, what brought you here, football, study. How do you see yourself in the future? What are your aspirations? What are your dreams nowadays?
Right now, because of what I lived through in Palestine, one of my biggest dreams is to try and get potential talent out of Palestine into the world. Many players actually don't have the opportunity there, and this is, I think it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Okay.
you know, I'm trying as much as possible to give them a chance to grow into the football world outside of Palestine, because to be honest, inside of Palestine, especially after what's happening right now,
Yeah.
I think the football life is going to be in the minus levels than it is like in a positive level. So this is one of my biggest things that I'm thinking about. And the second thing is to do as much as I can outside, you know, basically in the business world, to try and raise money to help the Palestinians and everything that's happening. It's always been a dream of mine as a kid to help the people in Palestine, because to be honest, they deserve to live a better life. I would love to be part of, you know, giving them back something that, you know, I would say I had it as a kid, but, you know, I want to give them more than what I had as a kid to be, you know, as much as possible, because, you know, life is very short. I'd rather do something good in my life, you know, be happy about it than just focus on myself and
I love that. I love that. And if I can ask you that same question, but based on your old career, what would you say as a footballer? What are your aspirations as a player? I mean, you're not retired yet. You still have many years to go.
I want to reach the World Cup, man. This would be one of the biggest things for Palestine, to be honest.
Yeah.
As much as I think about the country and the people there, you know, if I thought about myself the way I think, I want to help everyone, and then I can reach a lot of different levels. And maybe this is something that's not right. Some people think it's not right.
Did they ever reach the World Cup?
No. We had never reached this part of the World Cup qualifiers before. We're already making history right now. But, you know, even to reach the final stage or the third stage, I don't know what stage it is, the third or fourth, I don't know how the group stages are. Even this is a big, you know, dream for all of us, because everyone's going to start to know about the country even more, that we're actually, you know, advancing into something new.
Yeah. How do you feel like national team? You say you are already writing history right now. Your career as a player in club level, how do you experience the national team and club level benefited to your growth as a human being, but also as an individual player?
You know, in the club, it always helps you connect more with the people, because when you're playing in a club, you're not normally just playing against one team. It's always different teams, different backgrounds of people. So it gives you a chance to connect more and more and more. And that teaches you as a human being first and as a footballer. At one point when I first came to FC Bandung, you were just released from Persija. I remember. So this guy might be crazy to do something like this, you know, here, you know, a big fan base and all these things. And I was like, this is actually, you know, listen, I love this mentality, because normally where I used to play before I came to Indonesia, a lot of the mentalities that was on my team that I used to work with, they were great people, don't get me wrong, but as professional footballers, they didn't have that high mentality of, okay, you know, I don't care what people say, I don't care what people think. I focus on myself and I focus on the next step in my career. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, and this is going to be interesting. And alhamdulillah, honestly, I really enjoyed my time in person, you know, playing with the guys that we had at the time. It was good, you know, it was really good. And you know, that gave me a better view into what I'm gonna take next. Even though my next step, I wouldn't say it was a failure, it was a good experience, because we always experience things we don't, you know, we learn from what we do. But when I went to Egypt, that helped me grow so much, to be honest. Because
in which sense?
Because I was there for 4 months, I didn't play 1 minute. I was training like, you know, excuse my language, I was training like a dog at the time. I was training so hard because I want to play.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in my hands. It really wasn't. You know, it was such bad luck that the coach that brought me there was sacked 1 week after in pre-season, and they bring a new coach, and this guy brings all his players, and unfortunately that's how it works in Egypt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy 4 months. I was playing friendly games, doing my best, scoring goals, assisting, but at the same time, no play time in the league. So,
okay.
That helps. Honestly, that helped me grow. I had to take a step down, go back to the Palestinian League. I had played there. I won the cup and the league in the same month.
Amazing.
And after that, Bali United, you know, it was just, you know, sometimes you have to go down to come back up, and this is what helped me come back here. I would say I'm really grateful to come back to Indonesia through Bali United, because, you know, it's a great team, great atmosphere.
You know what I always remember? It was COVID, and we was in a hotel together in quarantine.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this guy next to my room in quarantine, you know?
This guy with this loud music.
No, I was like, we are in a room, we cannot move. You know, we know that we have to go to pre-season or the game soon, but we need to be fit.
Yeah.
Or I mean, in my head, I was always like, I need to be fit. And then I see you there in the other room, working like a dog, in quarantine, in your room. And I was like, hey, this guy's inspiring me, man. Like, I cannot sit still in my own room, you know?
I remember we were in the hallway running.
Yeah.
At one point, the guy called us.
And the security, security catch us. We cannot move out of the room. But what I felt that time, and I know you as a person afterwards in the club, you know, and I see your journey in social media and everything. But more or less how I know you as an individual, you work very, very hard. I mean, you are some guy, I think one of the fewest guys I know in my career that I say, this guy is a machine, he works like crazy, you know? And maybe you don't show it always to the outside world, but I know that, you know?
For sure.
Where does this came from? This hunger to work? Is it because of the background, the little opportunity you had as a child that you say, I need to work harder to get something?
That's for sure the background, to be honest, because like I said before, I wasn't thinking about football. But then when football came to the picture, I was like, I'm not letting this go. You know, I'm already here.
Yeah.
What do I have to lose, you know? Before I actually went to this is what gave me this mentality, is the under 23 national team, because I was playing college ball and everybody was talking bad about college football, all these things in America. Even though honestly, the competition is different. It's different. For example, I think, in my opinion, because I played in the Palestinian League and played there, it's more organized in college in America than it is in the Palestinian professional.
Yeah.
And before going to the under 23 qualifiers, or Asian Cup, sorry, I was there for like a month and a half. I was training 3 times a day just to get fit for that. And I lost like 5 kilos. I gained some quickness and different things, you know. And this is what I just carried that month and a half into the rest of my career.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if I'm fasting. At one point, I was fasting in college in preseason. I was training 6 a.m., 1 p.m., and then 6 p.m. also. And I had to juggle that through school and work. But it didn't matter because I knew, I'm here. You know, I'm gonna take the step into the football world. I gotta do whatever I can. You know, when you watch Kobe, you become.
Of course.
You try to get 1% of him.
You know, I always said, and I actually, you know, thanks to my father, he always said that, and it's a famous pronouncement, but they say hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. I was never the kid with the most talent, you know? I knew that. So I knew I had to work harder than all those crazy kids with crazy talents to reach where I want to reach. And I see that mindset and mentality back in you, you know?
For sure, bro. It's honestly, I didn't have much of football in me when I was a kid, you know. He's just like any other kid, but, you know, to control the ball and do this, I had to work for that.
Yeah, no, I like that.
That's not there, it wasn't there.
But speaking about this, fast forwards, Asian Cup 2023. For me, it was a dream coming true.
Sure.
5 minutes away, different hotel. My teammate from PES Bandung is there.
I end up seeing you in a coffee shop.
In a coffee shop.
We don't even have a time to see each other.
But I was so proud and so happy to see Palestine at the Asian Cup. Seeing you there, play there. I was like, man, you know, after everything was going on, I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to win more than I want to win myself, you know?
Thank you.
How was that atmosphere and emotion for you to be there?
It was very emotional because this time it was different than 2019. This time we actually had a more group team, a team that actually kind of, you know, like, I wouldn't say loved each other, but we did like each other. You know, we were playing for each other on the pitch, which is something that gave us the momentum and motivation to win in the games. You know, it started off hard there. You know, we lost against Iran 4-0, I think. Everyone expected that, but we tried to do our best, you know. And you know, speaking of Iran, it's like a big difference between us and them. But going into UAE and then Hong Kong, we knew that we had a chance, you know. It was unfortunate against UAE. We had so many chances we couldn't score, it just wasn't happening. And then we just exploded against Hong Kong. And, you know, knowing that you qualified to the next stage, it was honestly the greatest feeling in my life. and the rest of the players, because we knew that already we made history. And for some of us, it's 2 times. Under 23, it was the first time we qualified to the next round.
And now see,
Now, this one was like 6 of us players that were on the national team this time. So it feels so amazing that at one point I was thinking, okay, I just want to work, I don't want to play football. Then when I look at it, okay, I made history for my country 2 times.
amazing.
And now we're on the third time with the World Cup qualifiers, and I'm just praying that we end up like at least getting close to qualifying.
Can I get the T-shirt? So you actually gave me something. The Palestine national team jersey, and Asian Cup badge here. I know, man. I think I never swap jerseys with players because I feel, what do I have to do with all these jerseys? But this one is really special, and to hear the story behind it and that you wrote history with it, make me proud to have it. So I keep this in my house. Let's have a walk. It's hot.
Thank you.
As a football player, we train, we live to have performance, to have success,
Yeah.
And we get judged a lot about our performances and about our successes.
True.
What do you feel in your life as a human being? What does the opinion of others do to you, honestly speaking?
Honestly, not much, because at the end of the day, I know what I live through day-to-day life. At the end of the day, we are footballers, but we are human beings. Things happen in our personal life sometimes. We just have to learn how to, cut and break between personal life and, like, for example, 1 or 2 days before game time, that you need to, get focused, move away. But sometimes, when it's a too personal thing and it's too severe that happens, sometimes it really takes a lot of your energy. And I've had that happen to me once or twice, maybe more than that. And you end up having a bad game or something, and a lot of people start to judge you. But I know what's happening in my life, which is why I don't care what they say. And normally I don't read what happens on the social media, because at the end of the day, it's not my job, and I don't need it, especially if whether it's negative or positive, But
Yeah.
Many times I receive messages, and whether it is negative or positive, I try my best to turn anything that's negative into a positive. And the positive messages, I normally thank them. And, or you just have to always be a human. At the end of the day, we're not robots.
So you say you will not get affected by it?
I would say no. No, because like I said, I don't normally read what happens on social media.
Okay.
It's just, why add to the stress and frustration, especially if, God forbid, you lose a game, and then you have so much criticism happening, because people go game by game. They don't remember what you did the game before, whether it's good or bad, or if it's good, they don't even remember. Okay, it's finished. They look at what's gonna happen. You lose a game, you gotta focus on the next one. What are you gonna do? You cannot change the score after the game is finished. So at the end of the day, we try our best. This is why we always work hard, because we always want to better ourselves and go into a better level in our career. So,
which values in life did football teach you?
man, respect is one of them, man. To respect anybody and whoever comes in my way, to be honest. Doesn't matter who they are, how old they are. Connecting with many people, and honestly, most of them older than me in football, more experience. It really taught me, that no matter what you do, there's always someone better than you. There's always someone working harder than you. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter how hard you work. There's always someone that's, putting in more hours, more work. And to be honest, I'm one of the people that respect anybody that comes and tells me, or for example, I ask them, what do you do? Okay, I go to the gym in the morning, I do this, I do that, I'm trying to lose weight. I always look at that as a sign of respect to themselves first. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's an amazing thing to see what people do in their free time. Most people use their time unwisely. When you see people use their time wisely, you give them so much respect. And my respect teachings or levels has grown more and more day to day through football, because you see what's happening. So this is one value I take with me, and I live by it, that, you know, never judge anyone, respect whoever comes in your face, listen, learn, and, you know, don't be arrogant to nobody, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all equal to someone.
True. Very nice. A little off topic, if I speak regards values from your personal football journey, human growth, we all know the sensitive topic now in your hometown. I see the news, I read through the news, I have friends who follow the news, you know, I stand for Palestine, but I can never imagine the real story to it as a non-Palestinian person. How do you feel, and do you get affected personally and family-wise through the situation? And what can you say about your emotions and feelings towards it?
Honestly, that situation, this is the worst I have seen it in my life so far. Since I was born, this is the worst time that I've seen it happening there. And to be honest, even if you're not Palestinian, it really affects you, because when you see what's happening, if you see videos and photos, honestly, it's really hard to look at it. But when you're losing friends, alhamdulillah, my family is safe, because we live away from where the main war is happening in Gaza. We're like about 4 hours away. But I have a lot of friends in Gaza, and I have lost 2 of them so far. One of them was actually really close to me. He's helped me a lot. He's helped me a lot with, you know, marketing videos for football. And to be honest, I was really devastated when I heard, you know, actually, I even received the photo when he has passed away. His house, well, actually not his house, one of his, where they were living, him and his family has been rocketed and bombed, and all his family members were died. And he's the only one that stayed alive, maybe for another 3 days. But when it happened, his brother lives in Jordan. He told me that he's okay, but he wasn't okay. He just said that. And 3 days later, he sends me a photo of him in the white cloth, you know, that they're gonna bury him and everything. I was like, what happened? He said that he was being okay, you know, he became okay. And apparently he wasn't. He was actually in a really bad situation. And he's lost his father, his mother, his 2 sisters, and one of his other brothers. He only has 2 brothers, and from the family, only 2 brothers are still alive. One in Jordan, one still in Gaza. To be honest, it was really hard, because until today, I don't believe that he's gone. You know, sometimes I go back to the messages, I go back to the videos that he's done for me. And I'm like, man, you know, like it's unbelievable. Honestly, sometimes you don't even, you just think about it, and it comes to your head, and like, man, what happened? I go back to send a message or something, I see one check mark on the WhatsApp, like, okay, I just forget that what's happened, you know? So, you know, that's the hard part, but, you know, this is nothing compared to what the actual people in Gaza are living right now. It's really tough. Imagine they have no food, no water, and it's Ramadan, and Eid is coming, and they really have nothing, you know? Everything is restricted. And like I said, this is the worst I have seen it, because in Gaza it's horrible, and where we stay, like the West Bank, the cities there, it's also bad, because a lot of altercations happen, a lot of shooting, kidnapping, so it's got worse now. But, you know, in the beginning it was really bad. Slowly you start to kind of learn how to deal with it, especially with football games, because at the end of the day, I have a job and I have to fulfill my commitment to the club I'm working for. I cannot, you know, just come and not work, not train, because, you know, of what's happening. In the first week, honestly, my training was horrible. I was so off. Everything was bad, you know, and all my teammates were telling me in Mali, you know, something is right. I mean, of course, you know, I'm trying to get this, you know, a little bit, cut it out of the trainings, at least in games and whatnot, but it was really difficult. But alhamdulillah, I was able to kind of cope with it. And not that I'm saying that everything that's happening is okay. It's not okay. It's never okay. But, you know, you try to keep it as much as possible with yourself and personal, and just work with it. And
how important do you feel that the athlete's voice nowadays is to also raise this issue and raise what's going on?
You know, it's it's so strong. The athlete's voice is so strong right now that, you know, the first couple months of the war, I was posting a lot about what's happening to inform the people outside of what's happening, and to get so many messages from people wanting to learn more about it. This is what gave me the inspiration that, okay, you know, I need to keep doing more. So I started to use the interviews with for example, Al Jazeera or any of these channels that came to interview me before national team games and the qualifiers or anything, or even here in Indonesia, you know. I'll start to use that to, you know, make sure I speak about what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like 30 seconds, okay, just to make sure that the world will know. And this comes because I see that, you know, it's very strong. And to be honest, I already know it's strong because they try to restrict us. Back home, they try to restrict us as much as possible to not speak about what's happening. But a lot of people don't care. Many of my friends ended up going to jail because of this. And I know this is just how life is there. You know, they try to restrict you and block your voice as much as possible, especially if you have a lot of followers. And I'm trying my best to keep doing what I do. And like I said, I'm not using my social media to make sure that the whole world knows. I'm mostly using the interview channels, those bigger channels that are watched in the whole world, like Al Jazeera English and all these other channels. And it's been helping. Honestly, even ESPN, you know, they just posted the article that they just made. It was a journalist called TJ Quinn. He called me through a friend. He's like, I want to make an interview with you guys and, you know, ask you a few questions about the Asian Cup. But really, honestly, my focus is on Palestine. I was like, bro, you came to the right guy, you know. Oh, wow. He lives in Chicago, and my family, you know, my sisters and brothers live there. And I introduced him to them. He went to my house there and my brother's house, my sister's house. He spoke to them. He took another point of view. And he came to Qatar also. We spoke, me and him, and he spoke to a couple other players. And he posted an article, and this is the first time I see ESPN talk about Palestine. You know, so many people have shared that article, and I've had many friends from college send me the article that I haven't spoken to for a long time, and I was just happy to see it because really ESPN doesn't do that normally. So
Impact.
We're grateful for it, to be honest. This shows that the athlete's voice is heard, you know, it's strong.
If you can give yourself younger Mohammed Rashid, the young kids born in Palestine, raised there, if you can give him one advice, what will you tell him?
One advice to young Mohammed would be that I should have took the step into football earlier than I did. I was very late to go into an academy, and I think I should have, you know, convinced my father, especially, to send me to Europe, to any academy. I didn't care. I honestly, I should have just convinced him to send me to any academy, knowing what I know now. If I knew what I knew now before, I would have tried my best to have him send me to an academy, because now I see how important football is in the world.
Yeah.
Not in the life of anybody, in the world in general. And it's not only about being a footballer or wanting to be famous or about money or none of that. It's just about opening a road to the rest of the Palestinian players, talents, youngsters that want to make it to the next level. And like I said to you before earlier, this is very important to me. And this is one thing I want to do for the generation that's coming when I have the chance, you know?
Yeah.
I hope you can help me with that, since you have a lot of connections.
Let's do it, why not? Yeah.
So, yeah, honestly, this is it. I have to give them a chance that I didn't have. You know, make an easier way and give them the trust that I didn't get. And the people that I spoke to, agents, whether it's agents or directors or managers, that gave me a lot of lies and just gave me a lot of nonsense talk that I thought can help me, but ended up giving me nothing, you know? Because I was really serious as a kid, because after seeing the national team, I had a dream. But then when I heard all these lies and nonsense, that dream was gone. And I started thinking, okay, I need to finish school and I need to study, because really, it's not for me. I didn't think it was for me.
So you did get affected younger age by opinions?
For sure, for sure. Honestly, as a kid, if you're lied to, they can haunt you. But, you know, I think the second chance that I had, I actually took. and I took it to the next level with that second chance. But I never had really the first chance, you know, because it was just a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
And even, you know, at an older age, if someone lies to you, you get annoyed by it. Of course, you understand it because you have more experience. But as a kid, you have nothing to think about. Sure. Okay, you lied to me. You've been 2 months and you're telling me, okay, next week we're gonna fly you out. Come on. You know how many agents told me next week we're gonna fly you out, bro? Maybe like 20. If these 20 actually were, you know, honest, I could have had a chance in Europe, you know, to like follow that dream, because my dream was to play in Europe, no matter where. But I wanted to play there because we know that playing in Europe was just a different level than playing anywhere else. Alhamdulillah, I never had the chance. I had the opportunity to play in Saudi, in Egypt, and in Indonesia. And to be honest, so far, the best and my favorite is Indonesia. You know, I've seen so much love and, you know, affection here in this country, and a lot of people are with Palestine. And being a Palestinian and, you know, trying to help the clubs that I work with win a championship or, you know, win any game, it's just a great feeling. It's always an honor, you know. At the end of the day, we are footballers before we are anything. We are humans, but we are footballers as a career, and wanting to do something for the club you work for and putting your name on one of the trophies, you know, it's always an honor. You know, winning the trophy in Palestine for the first time last season was a great honor for me, because that club brought me, specifically talking to me before we signed that, okay, we brought you here because we want to win the league for the first time. I was like, no, I'm ready. And, and they were in third place when I got there. We finished the season in first place, and, you know, things worked out the way they should.
What has Indonesia brought you in your life?
A lot.
The passion of people, the fans.
It's amazing. I honestly, I've seen a different passion to football here than I saw anywhere else that I have worked. Egyptians are known for their love for football, but I've never seen it like it is in Indonesia, honestly. You know, it was unfortunate when we were in person, there was no fans, you know, because of the COVID. But seeing it now and seeing how it is, you know, for example, our last game in Bali United is amazing. I missed a full house against Persija. It was amazing to see. It was very nice. And, you know, normally you don't, you know, there's so many issues that can happen, you know, fights and whatnot that can take away the fans from the stadium. But when you see it, honestly, it's an honorable moment.
Yeah.
And we always have to be grateful for that, to be honest, because many people don't get there, you know, and many clubs also don't get there because the fan base is smaller or something. But, you know, we play for 2 clubs that each club has a good fan base, and especially Persib. So, you know, it's something to be grateful for and be happy about. And to be honest, I would love to stay, you know, around these leagues, because it can't get any better than this. At the end of the day, we're growing so fast, but we're trying to make the best out of every moment that we have. And this is one of the things that help you enjoy football, you know, having supporters and roots. So.
What is one last message you want to give to Indonesian supporters or people watching this?
And my first message, to be honest, is to young football players that, you know, are thinking or dreaming about making it into the next level. I always say this because of what I lived. Don't ever lose the passion and motivation you have to make it to the next level. No matter who talks to you, no matter what kind of lies or anything that people give you, just focus on yourself, especially as a kid. You know, if you focus on yourself, your mentality grows. You start seeing different things in life and different things in people. You start learning more about people and how to deal with people and who's honest and who's not. So don't be dismotivated by what people tell you. Always look forward and just keep working, you know, never look back. And to remember, it's not easy. It's never easy. You know, you need to work harder than your teammate always, and the opponent always. You always have to work harder than them to make it to the next level. And to Indonesian fans and to everyone watching this, to be honest, thank you so much. And I would like to say Eid Mubarak to everyone celebrating. And, you know, I really hope that things get better in Palestine. And I always say love and support to Indonesian people for always supporting us. And I hope everyone that is watching this is healthy, successful, and once again, Eid Mubarak, and inshallah, may Allah bless you all, everyone that's watching this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you
I
so
appreciate it a lot.
Sure.
Amazing talks.
Thank you, bro.
Guys, terima kasih untuk nonton episode ini dengan Muhammad Rashid, Timnas Palestina dan pemain Bali United. Banyak inspirasi dan motivasi hari ini, especially buat anak kecil dengan mimpi yang besar. Jangan lupa dengerin kata-kata dia. Terima kasih. On to the next. See you.
I thought that was the camera. That's why I was.